Okay, let's go again. Right. So, hi everybody. We are back with the latest season of the Goosed Podcast. This is the first episode of 2025. I think we recorded 40 odd episodes last year, so go back, have a look at them. But today we're starting with the new season, and as you'll see, we're in a slightly different location than usual. We are in Factory 44 in Dublin city centre. Absolutely gorgeous space, and I'm delighted to be here. And it's fantastic to see Ireland picking up spaces like this to help creators create content. Now, anyway, today I have with me one of my favorite people I have met in the tech industry over the last few years. It is Cuty Gupta, the founder and CEO of Cozmotec. I suppose to give a proper introduction, I may as well let you do that yourself.
Yeah,
Anyway,
of
hi.
course. Yeah. Hi, and thanks a million for having me here.
Anytime.
Sean, it's always a pleasure talking to you. So, yeah, my name is Cuty Gupta. I am originally from India, moved to Ireland more than 10 years ago now. So, I am more Ireland and Irish than Indian now, to be honest with you, because, when I go home now, it feels out of place as compared to
Yeah.
Ireland. However, yeah, I'm CEO of Cozmotec. What Cozmotec is a tech company. So, anything related to tech, that's who we are. What we do is we help companies like startups, we help companies like SMEs, we help companies like corporates as well. So it's a complete tech solution for no matter what size company you are from. For startups specifically, we have a product called Launchpad by Cozmotec. And what we do is we specifically focus on non-tech founders there, where now non-tech founders who have amazing idea on their app and they want to develop something, they don't know where to start from, and
Mm.
they are very much struggling to figure out what coding language they should use, how to
Do that.
code, and then they are lost. And if they try to find people and resources in Ireland, it's very expensive. If they find people and resources remotely, they don't know who they are dealing with. So it's a very, very challenging situation for them. So what we do is we help non-tech founders to first of all scope out their project, understand exactly what they're trying to build, and after the scoping, we help them with development as well. We give them the idea of what languages we're using and why we're using it, and then we develop it from scratch for them. So that's who we are in terms of Launchpad. For other companies, for businesses, we help them with again technology.
Yeah.
So if you are a business owner and if you realize that your staff is wasting a lot of time doing day-to-day mundane tasks, it's all manual what they are doing, then we come in, have a look at your processes, figure out how we can automate it with the help of integrations of existing system together, or we will create a bespoke automation for you, or we will find out off the shelf product which is best suitable for your needs, and then help you implement that and train that. So yeah, that's who we are.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am biased. So over outside of Goose, the other project or business that I'm working on is our fantasy football app called Starter Draft that we're hoping to release this summer. And you may have kind of guessed it. I haven't a clue about anything code. I know there's numbers, digits, and the whole sequence of madness. So we met these guys about a year ago now at one of the NDRC events. Another great group that anybody who's looking at Startup Blend should be getting involved with. Met the guys, and the work that they have been doing putting together the app has been absolutely fucking stunning. So for anybody out there who has a big idea that doesn't know where to start, here's where you start straight away. The most fascinating thing for me is that you're creating this whole tech business, tech company, and this isn't where you come from. It's
No.
yeah.
No.
So tell me how where did you start and how did this happen?
Yeah.
Because it's mad to me.
I know it's crazy. I never thought I would be working in tech industry ever myself. So as you know, I'm a qualified dentist,
Yeah.
and I always wanted to work in dentistry, and I wanted to do my masters and then follow that career path. But things did not work out, and I had to change my career. So it just naturally happened. I was working in my previous job. I was working as director of technology and innovation, where I was involved in automating daily repetitive tasks, and I was working with software developers very closely. I was working to figure out how we can use technology to reduce errors, to reduce, it's always a problem when it comes down to inefficiency. So I was working on that. I did my master's diploma in data analytics. I did my project management course during that time, and then I realized this is the area I love.
Yeah.
And then while I was doing that job, I also realized that every business in Ireland needs technology. And no matter what size you are,
Yep.
there is always room for improvement.
And there's constant resistance to it,
Exactly.
especially in the more old school businesses. It's just like banging your head against the brick wall, going, just because your
Exactly.
granddad did it this way doesn't mean we need to know. It's something that stresses me out.
That's it, exactly. But the thing is, people don't like change, and
Yeah.
that's normal. And with technology, you have to be very careful of what you're implementing. It's not just about implementing the technology and then you're gone. It's about going step by step. It is a process, you
Yeah.
can't be tech company within a month,
No, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Imagine, yeah.
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 What's it? Everybody wants to see the view, no one wants to do the climb. That's the line I've been hearing repetitively. Because especially over the last couple of years, so like obviously between interviewing startups and going to all the tech events, you see two very different types of founders. You've got the technical guys who know how to build something and then know how to sell something. And then you've got the guys like me who, yeah, put me in front of a room with a couple hundred people. I'll talk nonsense for days. But can I build it? No, not a clue.
No.
And where to start? Wouldn't even have a clue. And I think that's where we were banging our heads against the brick wall until we came across you guys. And it was just like my heart grew 3 sizes that day. And I was like, oh my God, finally. Like, what is so, like, let's say I'm a startup, because
Yeah.
obviously I am.
Yeah.
I come to you guys and go, this is my idea. What the hell do I do? Is that the starting point, or how?
That is it, exactly. So, once you have your idea and once you're invested in your idea, the first thing we need to know is what is the problem statement? What are you trying to solve
Yeah.
here? And then we start by a scoping exercise. So we sit down with you guys and then we understand what is the app is going to be about. What are we trying to solve here? We will be asking you a couple of questions just to test the idea as well, because sometimes what happens is when I come up with an idea, it's all good, but when the third person is asking you questions, it tends to let you think more. So we do the scoping exercise with you. We write down everything on a piece of a paper, explaining, okay, this is how the app is going to look like, and then we agree on the scoping and we say, okay, this is the scoping, and we agree on that, and then we move on. We start doing the UI UX. So we design the whatever the idea was, we put that into Figma designs,
Yeah.
and then design it for you, show it to you. This is the part where there's a lot of interaction between the startups and ourselves, where because it's your idea and we want to make sure that you're happy with the designs of it. So we finalize the designs, and once the designs are finalized, we just work on developing the app then. So that's the process.
I like that it's a very like obvious and clean process. But again, I think a lot of people don't really understand the thing. They'll just, because again, we've met hundreds of people like this. They go, "What do you want to make? I want to make an artificial intelligence that will do online forex trading for me." It's like cool. About 100 people have had that idea in the last month alone. You want the stock market to work for you? Okay, that's the end goal.
Okay,
Now,
but
let's take the step back and let's go. What are the features? What does it do?
exactly,
How does it need to do it?
exactly.
That's the kind of piece of the puzzle that you're trying to flesh out of someone.
Person.
Otherwise, you're
You don't know, and
yeah,
you can never build something. And the other thing is, some people have a very small idea, and some people, they don't know what the MVP is.
yeah,
So you cannot your product will never be perfect.
yeah.
It is a journey.
Unless it's ours, obviously.
Yeah. Very true, very true, exactly.
It's very pretty.
But what I mean to say is that you need to come up with certain functionalities which is going to go in this launch,
Yeah.
and then we will take the feedback from the customers and early users, and then after that we will add more functionalities
Yeah.
to it. So it needs to be developed in stages. You cannot be developing a big app in one go, because it doesn't work like that.
It's even funny the things that come out during conversations, because I know I had a chat with yourself and Mark when we were initially scoping out bits and pieces, and it was like we were talking about one piece in particular. And I was like, oh yeah, that's how that's meant to work. Yeah, and we just had in our head that it's just an automatic
That's it.
one button next go. It's like, yeah, but does it do this or this? It's like, I suppose number one. Haven't really thought about that, but yeah, it's like things that people take for granted, like login gates, payment systems. What currency are you taking? All of these little small things. Once you know those, you can frame out your product. And phase 2 and phase 3 functions. It's like, what do I need now versus what would I like later? And I think I think that's where people end up running up their costs. Is they want
Everything.
everything.
And they don't think about it, and then the developers will develop it for them, and then they realize, oh, this is not needed, and then there is a lot of rework done, and because of that they end up paying. If they were saying that they were thinking that they are going to be paying 15,000 euros for something, they end up paying 25 or 50, because your
Yeah.
cost increases as the development works. So that's why it's very important to scope out everything and be clear in our head of what we want in our first one. And then the second thing is, I have a SaaS product myself which we have developed called Recruit Pro, and it's paying. We have almost 500 users now on that platform. So it's really good. But again, I did the same thing with my own SaaS product as well. I launched it with the minimum viable functionalities I needed to get customers on board.
Yeah.
Once I have paying customers, I'm using that money coming in to develop more and more and more. And that's how it should be. Because if I would have waited for being my Recruit Pro, the perfect product, I would still be developing it,
Yeah.
because it's never.
But this is the thing. I think there's this idea of, I think it was Steve Jobs used to say, it was just put it out there. Like, you have to put it out there to know what's broken. And
Exactly.
like, it's definitely something I've even learned throughout the process that we've been going through with you guys is like, what do I need? What do I absolutely need now? It's like things like, yeah, we know that there needs to be payment gateways. Well, that's obvious. It's like, we'd love digital collectibles, but that's 2 years down the line, because it's like, although it's nice to have, is that going to make or break what we're doing? No. Cool. That waits. And I
That's
think
it.
anybody who's going through this founder non-technical space, it's definitely a difference in mindset from the technical founders.
Yeah.
Because we come in and go, I want it all. It's going to be shiny, bells, whistles. Give me this, give me this, give me this. It's like, okay, dude, breathe. What
That's
does
it.
your customer actually need right now? And
Exactly.
hone in on that and get that really right.
Yeah.
And I think that scoping process that you do really helps that. So now that we know, I suppose, what we're building, what do we do then?
That's it. Then I think once you know what you're building, then I think you just sit back, relax, and we give you, we enjoy the journey. Then
The dream.
yeah, exactly. Because then it's the ball is in our court. Once we have
Mm.
finalized on what the product is going to be doing, we try to design
Yeah.
the designs and get the look and feel of the system itself and get approval on those ones, and
Yeah.
then we develop it. Once it is developed and launched live, then of course there will be support needed. There will be more functionality changes
Yeah.
needed. So it's a constant journey. So we launch the MVP, but then after that we are there to support you and maintain that product for you when you need us to. So it's a long term partnership we're
Yeah.
looking for. It's not something that we are developed and then off you go.
Drop and
That
go, yeah.
exactly. And even if you are a technical founder as well, like it's always good to develop the MVP yourself, because you can do it when it comes to MVP. But now when your product moves from MVP to actual real product,
Yeah.
you cannot be sitting down there developing yourself. Like, you need a team,
Yeah.
and you're the technical head who can guide the team, but you cannot be doing the
Do you
development.
find that the technical founders, they build an MVP, right? And this is definitely another thing I've stumbled backwards upon. I found that a lot of the technical founders, what they do is they get so honed in on building this thing that they end up, when it's done, they have to bin the whole thing and start again when it comes to production, rather than
Exactly.
layering.
Exactly,
That
but
just seems
because what
stressful.
happens is, yeah, and that's the problem, because all the time, what you ideally, if you have a vision clear in your head, you can develop the MVP in a phase which can be used in future to scale further.
Yeah.
You don't have to scrap that. Whereas what happens is, if you are a technical founder, you are sometimes developing it yourself. There are, don't get me wrong, there are really really good coders out there who develop it, and I really really respect them.
Yep.
But the only thing is that is not scalable.
Yeah.
You need the team of developers.
It's almost like a headspace of Project A. Now
Exactly.
Project A, no, that's done. Project B. How about I think there's this thing of, because in Startup Blend you're so lean,
Exactly.
you have so few bodies. It's like, how to, if you can streamline your process as best as possible, and if that means taking in a partner so you can focus on, I don't know, everything else that a business has to do, like the sales, the marketing, the networking, the building, the platform, the building, the brand, the accounting, the legal. I'm sure there's another many. I don't have enough fingers to count all the things that we're actually supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if I could take that responsibility away from me to people that I trust and go, they get it. They know what we're doing. And even the technical then guys, they'll get so hung up on making rendition. Guess what? Somebody else has come to the market with it in the timeline that you've built your fifth MVP plus.
Exactly.
It just, I will say, like, the speed is the speed of being able to turn around an MVP is the first thing,
Yeah.
which is really important. It's the quality of having been able to bring something out, and it's that idea of being able to take, if you can take some of the stress of doing this journey off of your table, load it onto somebody else.
Yeah, because
Push.
you're only one person.
Yeah.
And when you're starting, when you're a startup, you are always low on resources anyway.
Yeah.
You cannot be. You're one person. How can you do everything yourself? And there are some things which others can't help you with.
I miss
For
sleep.
example, yeah, and strategy.
Yeah.
How can someone else do the strategy for you? You need to do it. And if you are doing the work, and if you are involved in day to day, no one can strategize for you. So how are you going to go up and then get your business to scale? And that's the whole idea, that we are there as a support system for you guys, so that you can do what you're meant to be doing, and then we can do the daily repetitive tasks for you, and then get the development. And so yeah.
And what I find really fascinating is, like, I suppose you have the two very clear products. You've got the starter product, which is taking the likes of me by the head and go, we're going to help you actually bring your vision to life. And then seeing it come to life. I mean, there's been a couple of times where me and Jimmy have had a little tear in our eye after seeing the screenshots that come through, being like, oh my God, it's taken 10 years, but we're finally seeing it. This is nuts. But like then there's the other side. And I think if I was to write a buzzword bingo card, I think digital transformation falls number three on that nowadays. You'd have AI, crypto, digital transformation. I don't think 90% of people know what digital transformation means. I think they just go, so you mean the internet, do you? Because I know that's what my mother would say. And look, this is her. She gets a shout out in every fucking podcast. And here it is. If I said to my mother, digital transformation, she'd go, computers. That's what you do, right? I'm like, yeah, sure. Go with that.
No, that's true. Actually, I think there is a lot of confusion around what digital transformation is. There's a lot of confusion around what AI is as well. To be honest with you, now, like, no, it's not everyone.
Language models versus machine learning versus actual artificial intelligence. They're
Exactly.
different things.
Exactly my point. And then, so there was, and people are thinking that AI is only new. Most people think that AI is new, whereas AI has been with us for years. Like, Siri on your mobile phone is some sort of artificial
Artificial
intelligence.
intelligence, like we've seen it in the movies since the 80s.
Exactly.
It's existed a while.
So that's what I mean. It's been generative AI is something new, which is, and which is it open, when OpenAI came in, it just made our life so much easier. And then now the AI bots, which were, taking months to develop, now it is now very much quicker because you can use the models which ChatGPT has already
That's
built.
an area I'm getting really, really bothered about. It's actually starting to become like 2 years ago, if you said the word crypto to me, I would have just gone, you mean the guys wearing the puffer jackets that think they're the shit? Sick of the sight of them. And now crypto's gone quiet. I wonder why. Oh no. Those same guys that flipped to AI experts.
That's it.
There just seems to be this thing of, oh, I made an AI product. It's like, no, you reskin ChatGPT. All you did was put it in a different banner and claiming it as your own. That's not. That's.
No, all you're doing is
And
fine
I'm seeing a
tuning.
lot of that.
Yeah, I know. But there would be, okay, we do need to develop,
Yeah.
some companies would be developing LLM models and stuff like that. That's fine. But 99% of the companies, what's the point?
Yeah.
Why are you reinventing the wheel? It's already there. You're fine tuning the models which are there. You're training the models which are there. But at the end, you are using some sort of APIs which are available in the market, be it Copilots, be it, ChatGPTs, use OpenAIs. You just need to use one of those
Yeah.
because you can't, there's no way you will be able to develop it yourself in short amount of time. You
Yeah.
can do it, but you will need AI researchers. You will need, a year or two to get the model. And still, I'm 99% sure your model will be performing less as compared to what
Yeah.
OpenAI will be because they are already trained.
Yeah. Like I've seen some really cool AI products. Don't get me wrong. I've seen like James Flynn who owns Cozmotec with the social media training tool. I love that.
Yeah,
I had him on last year. He's a lovely guy, and his product makes a lot of sense because my background's obviously
marketing.
social media and content marketing. So being able to be like, I need to think a little less, and it's going to use the structure of what I've already done for the last 3-4 years for this company and give suggestions for the next month based on what I've already done. Oh, thank you. Like that makes sense.
Yes.
But the amount of them that I've seen that are like bolt-on chatbots, it's like, okay. Yeah, next. So like I think this is where when we talk about digital transformation, everybody just assumes AI chatbot.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
like it's not.
No, it's clearly not. Digital transformation is making sure that we have automations in the business processes as much as possible. We are using technology to automate daily repetitive tasks. So I say to everyone, if you come in and if, let's say, for example, if I hire a new staff, okay, and if you're training that staff to do the same thing every day, then that means it is a process.
Yes.
And if a human can do a process, so can automation and technology.
Sure.
So, but humans, we are tend to make errors. We will make errors. That's normal, and we cannot blame anyone for that. There's so many things going in our head that we can easily make mistakes. Whereas if you do the automation for these processes which are daily repetitive, you wouldn't be making mistakes.
Yeah.
And then it's quick. If the human is taking 15 minutes, it can be done in a minute. So that saves time, and then that saves a lot of frustrations in the staff as well. So digital transformation is a journey. It is not, it is not like, okay, hire me and okay, just transform my business digitally in a
Make
month.
things do the thing.
Exactly.
What am I doing?
Exactly. It doesn't work like that. So, as I say, it is a journey. It is a year or 2 year pathway. We figure out what are the systems businesses are using at the moment. What are the legacy systems? Do you want to continue them? Do you want to bring in new systems? What are the things which are done still on papers? Like,
Sure.
I'm
Oh,
amazed.
that's one now. Like tire shops are like they've become a pet peeve because like my car has specific, which that in itself annoys me. But anyway, I'll ring them up and they're like, I don't know, let me ring you back. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, let me go check with the receptionist. It's like, so there's normally someone in at the reception that has a big folder with a piece of paper stuck in it and going, yeah, we got 20 of those in last week. How many of them left? Let me go back out to the garage and check with the guy. They're like, so does anybody know what you actually have here, or are you just kind of winging it?
No, that's
Eh,
exactly it. And again, imagine if there is multiple shops,
yeah,
so if they are, then they don't know what's going on in the other shop, and they have to ring them, and then it's no centralized system. So the first thing is you need to have a centralized database. I don't understand how businesses perform if they don't have centralized database. How do they know how their business is performing? Like they don't have data.
what stock do you have? What's your
What
customer
is
list?
it?
What's your average order value? It's like, I don't know, it's on a piece of paper.
Exactly. So that's exactly it. That what it just annoys me. It's just like, if businesses have so much data,
Yeah,
but it is so much scattered that you cannot use it to give you predictive analysis.
yeah,
And that's AI for me, right?
yeah.
So you can use your data to learn and understand what are the trends in the business. Is your staff going on holidays? When do you need to hire more people? Which department is losing more staff? Which department is performing the best? Are you growing from sales percentage? You might be growing, but is your profit actually going? Your profit might be, you might have hundreds of clients now, but your profit is decreasing and
Huh,
decreasing. How do you know that?
huh. Do you know what? A great example of that is, like the door-to-door sales guys, the churn. They're like, you'll see the guy come out one day in like a, you know, prepaid power t-shirt, and the next week you're seeing him around wearing whatever Wi-Fi brand. It's like, which one do you work for? And it just seems like they churn through them
Yes,
because there's obviously no tracking of sales. There's no understanding of.
exactly.
I think that's an obvious one because it's just like anybody who lives like outside of a main city center, you'll start to recognize the same two or three guys knocking on your door every couple of months, and they seem to be wearing a different shirt.
Yeah.
It's and like the reason why I'm using this as an example of digital transformation, like they wouldn't be job hopping if there was an actual understanding of like sales procedures, sales
Exactly.
processes, and like actually like aligning the whole
That's
space.
exactly it. And then the other thing is like, when the staff comes on board, there are no KPIs for the staff
Yeah,
set up. So you
go
don't even.
outside and go talk to people.
Exactly. So what? How? It's just like, you don't have, there's no processes in business. And that's why people, business doesn't grow. And that's why, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah,
You are busy and busy. As year passed by, you're getting more busier, but you're not making any money. So what's
yeah.
the point?
Oh no, like I can see. Again, I'm biased with this because this is actually something I've seen from the inside. So, like my family
Yeah.
owns jewelry business or whatever, uh, and like for years it was just, yeah, I know what's there. So
What happens if you're on holidays?
you ring him,
Okay.
and that was how it was. So you don't ever have a day off. No,
God.
but this was just how it was done. You just knew.
Yeah.
Now it was like, okay, can we put that in the computer? I don't have time. I have to do this. I have to be here. I have to be. It was like, yes, but if we were to let's breathe, let's stop, let's take a step back and go. If we do take the next few weeks, few months, putting this structure in place, see all these things that you're stressing about having to get done, how many of those problems does it remove later?
Exactly. Short-term pain for the long-term gain, and people don't realize it. They just keep on thinking, oh my God, I'll have to learn this new system. I'll have to add all the data into this new system. It's going to take my hours. I'm busy. I can't do that. But then if you don't do it, you're going to get more and more busier. And there's no way you will, it's an infinite circle then.
Yeah.
You will never be able to come
It's
back and
definitely that once you've moved from startup into scale up, or once you have a business that's established and you've got into your routine, people find it very hard to break that cycle. It's like, buddy, you're going around with a literal folder of paperwork and invoice and receipts. You don't need to.
no.
Let's put this on a Dropbox. Let's put this in a database so that you just know. Let's build an app around it so that your internalized stock management or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Like I'm using like ecom type businesses because I think it's the easiest one to understand. But it doesn't matter what you are. If you're a HR company, if you're the type of company that sends nurses out to hospitals, you need to know who's going where, when, and why.
Exactly. How do you know? And okay, how do you know when should you start hiring? People usually start hiring when people leave.
That's why. When you do this and go, I'm really tired and stressed. Who can? I need someone to do this. But that seems to be what it is. It's like people will, especially like whatever about big established companies, like they have a system. I think it's that point when you're trying to go from small to medium,
Yes.
where it's like you're trying to do everything.
Yes.
So the time when you do a hire is when you've already broken.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
And
just none of it makes
no,
sense.
and that's the main thing. Like, you're always constantly busy. And then you need technology is there to help, so we need to leverage that, because if you don't, then someone else will. And then your competitors are going to be ahead of you. So, you
Yeah.
have to. I don't think there's any other way, to be honest with you. People are afraid of, using AI as well, and it's going to take their jobs and blah, blah, blah. But that's not true as well. Like,
It's not.
yeah, people, people will take your job,
Yeah.
if they will be if there are two people, one is using AI in the day to day, another one is not. The person who is leveraging AI to get their work done faster is gonna eat your job.
Yeah.
So it's
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 like the
there
thing
to.
with the car. It's like when we were bringing out the car, what did people want? I wanted a faster horse. It's like, cool. Now the guy who's doing the journeys through his taxi versus on a horse, well, I'm getting 3 times the amount of people in a quarter of the time. Therefore, I can do more in a day. Let's hire. Now we have taxis.
But I love your analogy though. It's really it's really
But
cool.
that's what essentially it
Yeah.
is. It's like, the same guy doing the same
Yeah.
task can now bring more people in a faster amount of time and do more of it.
Exactly.
So that's the route you're going to take.
That's it. And that's what we want. Like, we want business to be performing better, efficient. And we don't want people to be busy. Who want? Like, I don't think any business owner would want that my staff should be working 24/7. Like, no one
Yeah.
wants that. Everyone wants is that work should be done.
Yeah.
And if you can work smarter, why do you need to work harder?
You don't. But like, there's been like, I think this is a very much a technology based problem, because we've seen it with self driving cars. Oh no, they're going to take our job. Someone still needs to be the person to fix it. Someone still needs to manage it. You
Exactly.
get the other side of the things. You'll have things like 3D printing. Oh no, that's going to get rid of all the construction workers. How's that working?
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know,
No, I know. It's just the nature of human, I think, when.
use them as tools,
Yes.
not as threats.
Exactly.
Mm.
When Word, Microsoft Excel came in ages ago, everyone was wondering, what are we going to do now? Because it's going to revolutionize the whole thing. It did. And
Were
imagine,
people
look,
upset that they couldn't write letters anymore? Is that what? Because that's essentially what
that's
we're
what
talking
we were,
about.
yeah.
Is like, Word came out and said, "What about my letter? What about my parchment? What about my stamp? Oh, holy yeah, I think Word worked." Do you know what I mean? I think for years, there's this fear of when you see new technologies, people just panic and go, "Nope, that's changed. That's something
That's
new.
it. Yeah.
That's a threat, not a tool."
Yeah.
And what I've definitely found most interesting over the last 10 years is when technology goes quiet. Like, crypto's quiet at the moment.
Yes.
So what's going to come out in 2 years' time?
Yeah.
VR. VR was one that buzzed off during COVID. AR and VR.
Yeah.
That's been around since the 80s, 70s even.
Yeah.
But
And
it came
yeah.
back. But it came back hard during
Exactly.
COVID.
Exactly.
Pokemon Go even with the
Yeah.
AR lenses and stuff like that. But this stuff had been around 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
So it's like it goes quiet for a while. Then new changes come out, and then people shit the bed all over again.
Yeah.
It's like, really, we're going to have the Terminator talk again, are we? Like, how many times? Although I think that rabbit's out of the hat now, but that's a conversation for a different day.
Exactly, exactly. No, but I think it's all about the technology is there to help people, not to replace people.
Yeah.
It can't replace people ever, because you need someone to use technology as well.
Yeah.
Who is going to use it otherwise? So
Robots.
that's it.
Is
Yeah.
that not the? Is that
Is that what the yeah?
I don't know. This seems to be the fear. The robots will use the AI. So it's like, okay.
And who is gonna
I'm
someone will
okay
have
being.
to.
If that's the case, I'm okay being a pet. Have you seen the way cats and dogs live?
Yeah,
Great.
sure, why not?
Feed me. Have a bed in the corner. I'm good.
Robot is gonna do that for us. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
earn money for me.
Yeah, fine by me. But no, that's not going to happen.
No.
So I do think I think maybe it's a very Irish thing as well. Like, do you find like when customers come to you about like digital transformation pieces, that they've already like banged their head against the wall enough times and gone, I need to figure this out.
You know what I found as well? People have had bad experiences as well in the past. It's not like people don't want to use technology. Companies might have tried to introduce technology before, because they did not implement it right. They had a very bad experience, and they spent thousands and thousands of euros in implementing the technology, and now that is sitting on the shelf. And that's why I say to people that it's not about, if you write a check and if you think that that's going to do your job, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. It is a journey. So you need to make sure that you're having the right person on board. First of all, you need to make sure that you're driving that your business. There is change management needs to go along with it. You need to do the management, talk to your team to inform them, why are we doing this change, what is it? Because if people think, oh, it's going to replace me, it's going to make me redundant, they wouldn't use it. They would be like, I don't want to, it's going to eat up my job. So we need to do the education piece with the staff as well.
Yeah.
Train them, why are you doing, what are you doing, and then make them the part of this journey. If they get bought into it,
I
You
love that.
know, yeah,
It makes a lot of sense. It's like, okay, you don't have to be afraid of this. We're going to show you why
exactly.
this is important. Nobody's trying to fire you. We're trying to actually help speed up your job. Do you know the way you have to spend a half an hour every morning doing this task that you absolutely hate? Ah, now
Exactly.
you're all
It's the
good.
vision you need to share,
Yeah,
because what happens is most of the companies say, we are bringing in this software. Why?
yeah,
So we don't know why. People are not even involved into it. They don't even know what's going on. They are scratching their hair, and then they don't even know where to start with, and then all of a sudden they don't have a support. So let's say I implement a solution today, and then if I'm gone, if there are any issues with it, the support is not coming back to them as well. So
yeah.
they get frustrated, and they
Ah,
would be like, if it was in my hands, I could have done that manually myself, so why bother using technology?
yeah.
So that's another thing. So I don't blame. It is, it's a circle, and everyone is to blame there. And that's why it's so
Fun.
important. Yeah, no, I know, but it's so important to introduce the right technology,
Yeah.
right people. Make sure that you are very much clued into what you're doing, and one step at a time.
But I
Don't
like that. It's a more human approach to kind of implementing technology in a
a
company.
100%.
Because I've definitely seen places and people in the past who've kind of come in and go, right, you're getting this software subscription, this software subscription,
No,
these are going to increase your productivity. Bye.
no,
And it's
no,
like, okay, now I don't know what I'm using. I don't know why I'm using. I don't know
no,
yeah, here's your subscriptions. Bye now.
no,
Figure that out.
no. That doesn't work.
It's a more human approach, is what you have. You
We
actually look
have
at
to.
the actual business and their problem. Fight. I think it's that finding the needle in where their problems are and going, right, this is what we need to do to change it, and here's how we're going to do it.
Exactly. Like with the software which we have, our SaaS product Recruit Pro, when we implement that, when it goes live, I try to be in the premises for at least a week. Or one of my team member will be there for at least a
Okay.
week, just to make sure that, because we are B2, the software we have is B2B,
Sure.
right? So when you are bringing it integrates, it helps with timesheet management, it helps with invoicing, payrolls, bank uploads, all of those. So you can't expect people to just read the user guide every time. So what we do is we go there and we make sure that we're there to train them and guide them for a week at least. If we have to do more, we will do more.
Sure.
But and it's not like we're sitting on the desk. We are sitting there working from their space actually, so that if they have a question, they can just ask the question straight
Yeah.
away. They don't have to, because I think the support is the main thing.
Yeah.
Technology, anyone can build the technology. It's not. It's becoming so and so easier now. It's the support you give, it's the customer experience you give afterwards, that matters, and I
Yeah.
think that is the USP.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. Well, I want to kind of just bring it back to Cosmo, to your initial, to the Launchpad product. I like how everything that you're doing all kind of actually ties up together. So we have Launchpad, get the startup moving. Then we have Recruit Pro. It's like, oh, you guys need some people. Hi, we can also help you with that. Then we go to the Cosmotec digital transformation. It's like, now you're scaling. Let's put it. But if we were to go all the way back to Launchpad, it's like when you're actually building this product, if you put those kind of guardrails and guidelines in place, the amount of pain it can solve for you later.
That's it.
And I think that's a big piece that people
We and
miss.
absolutely, and again, as I was telling you before, for Launchpad, it's not. So we help with MVP. Okay, some of our clients in Launchpad are startups whose products are already in the market.
Yeah.
Now we are helping them with data migration. So let's say you have a product already there, you are onboarding 50 clients a week.
Hmm.
Now, how do you manage as a startup onboarding 50 clients and migrating their data in a week? Like, that's not possible. So you need, what we do is we create bots. So we create, with the help of robotic process automation, we create these bots. So what it does is it takes the data from Excel or their old system or wherever, and then it just brings in and add it to the new system, and it bot runs overnight. So
Ah,
again, we help, and that's
yeah.
how. So we are working with clients who we are helping with data migration as well, who we are helping with creating APIs for their clients as well. So it's not about, even if you have your product ready and if you need to scale it,
Hmm.
if you need help, that's what Launchpad is for as well. So Launchpad is to help startups, in their journey.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it is about, data migration, or it is about creating the MVP, it is about maintaining the products, it is about adding more features to the product, or it is about, being their technical advisor and advising them on what they should be working on and what features they should be launching in the next phase.
Yeah. This all sounds so logical. I think this is why I like these chats with you, because you say that you kind of explain it and like, yeah, obviously, but it seems so obvious that it's not obvious. It's like, right. So I suppose like the question I'd have for you is, like, if let's say, right, startup blend, first person coming in, what are the three things that you'd be turning around to and going, right, well, as we're building this, what are the three kind of main pillars that we need to know or to do to make an MVP, functioning like top shelf, let's get this out to market MVP. So let's say, 'cause you don't know me, and I go, I have an idea. You go, okay, do you have or do you know? What are the
I
three
think
big triggers that
the
you need?
first trigger is, do you know what is your pain point? First thing, is it who are your customers and why would they pay for this software? You
Okay.
know, you need to have answers to these three questions. If you don't have the answers for these three questions, you might be wasting your time and your money developing an MVP.
I think it's
Because,
a big part is the money part because development in a lot of places ain't cheap
yes,
and the pricing can fluctuate.
a lot. Like you might be given a quote in the start, which is very cheap, but then it keeps on adding up.
First quote I got, did I tell you this?
No, actually,
Oh
no.
yeah, yeah. So the first quote I got when we started this whole thing, I was talking to this group in the UK,
Yeah.
and they turned around and was like, "Yeah, 320 grand."
Oh my goodness.
And
Oh, oh my goodness.
this was like first rendition. Like, when the fuck did we decide we're building a Ferrari?
Yeah. And how is it affordable for startups? And that's my problem, and that's why started Launchpad,
Yeah,
because my main thing was that a startup, they're leaving their jobs to build up the idea which they believe in. How are they going to get 100 grand, 200 grand to develop? Like, that's not possible.
it's mental.
Exactly. And so in Ireland, it's very expensive.
Yep.
And then when you go back to, countries like, Pakistan, India, or Ukraine, or all those, you can find someone really good, but there are chances you can find someone really, really bad as well. And you don't know who you're dealing with. So what I did was I have a team in India as well.
Sure.
So, and that's why we are able to afford and accommodate startups. If I were hiring everyone in Ireland, there was no way I would be able to afford it, because,
Sure.
the salaries here are very, very, very high. So that's what I decided. I'm originally from India. I realized that, okay, I know people in India who are really, really good. Why don't I use that? Why don't I use my connection? I got my company set up in India. I hired them as employees. And then now we are able to afford, I know them. So the startups here still have a face in Ireland. They
Yeah.
don't have to deal with people in India at all. They're
Yeah.
dealing with us, our team here. And then we manage everything and we manage the development. And so they can still, it's a best of both the worlds,
Yeah.
because you're not paying that high, but at the same time, you have someone in Ireland who you can meet in our offices, who you can go and have a chat with.
Yeah.
And then it's a trust,
Yeah, I think it's that ability to guide the project,
Yes.
and it's that the part that I really appreciate about it is the guiding hand, because I definitely know. I think we spent a year going around talking to developers before we were actually able to figure out how to get it built. And I mean, myself, Jimmy, were on calls twice a week.
Oh my God.
I think we interviewed, I think not even interviewed, I think we talked to over 50 different developers between India, Pakistan, Egypt, Ukraine, Poland, England, Ireland, two in America, one in Brazil.
My God.
And like this is how many people we ended up talking to. And I mean the prices fluctuated from 5 grand to 320 grand.
500,000.
And you're just like, that's a very big window for the exact same thing. So
Yeah.
like the guy who came to us with the 5 grand, you're just looking at that thing going, and now this is again the learning, because if somebody goes 300 grand plus and the next guy goes five, you're like, one of you was lying. Actually, turned out both were. But you know what I mean? If you're the non-technical founder, this is the piece of the puzzle. We could
Exactly.
be a year further on. If I knew that lesson, if I learned that lesson the hard way, but if I knew this a year ago,
Yes.
we'd have probably already been in the market.
Exactly. And with MVP or with startup, it's going to the market is the
Yeah.
most important thing, because while you're talking about your product, someone is already working on it. So, whoever comes to the market first has an upper
Yeah.
edge. So we have to, it's all the timing game.
Yeah.
And that's why I say to every founder and all the startups that, rather than waiting for the perfect moment, just go live with it, deal with it. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
You will have feedback, constructive feedback either way.
Yeah.
You will learn from it, and then you will make mistakes. No matter what you do, you will always make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's, but you learn from it.
Yeah.
Don't feel disheartened, because that's normal. That's the part of life. Make mistakes, learn from it. Never make that mistake again.
Unless you're me and I make the same mistake repetitively, eventually it sinks in. But you have to fuck. It's like the three golden rule. It's like, don't do it once, just confirm it, and we're sure. And then it's like, okay, now we know we're not going to do that again. But it's like it's definitely part of the puzzle that I've noticed that, as I said, we spent a year
Yeah.
pissing around,
Yeah.
trying to talk to developers. And then it was only when, and this is why anybody I think who's trying to get into making startup, go to all of the events.
Yeah.
You have so many events on in Ireland now. It's actually class to
Yeah.
see. Like we have the NDRC who have events in Limerick, Cork, Galway, Kerry, Dublin. We have Enterprise Ireland who have the New Frontiers programs. Limerick, Cork, Galway, Dublin, Athlone, Westmeath. There's about 10 of them
So many
ongoing.
supports.
You
Yeah.
have the Further Pitch Jam. You have Dogpatch
Yeah.
Labs. You have. I can keep going.
No,
There's so many events on. Go to them.
and the supports.
Yeah.
You know, the supports which are available to startups as well. If you believe in your idea and if you are doing things right, you know, the people there to support you and help you, you know.
Yeah.
So it is like mentoring, you know, the what Republic of Work and all of these guys who provide mentoring services to you know,
Shout out
pre-accelerator.
to them.
That's it, exactly. But Andy does a great work.
He
Andy,
does.
you know, he does really, really good
Andy
work.
Green and that whole crew, they're
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. I'm actually I'm going over to New York with them actually in a few weeks
Oh,
time. Yeah,
oh,
one of
nice.
those hi we're Irish. That's Paddy's Day. Listen to my accent and hopefully bring some American money back to the
Oh,
country.
brilliant. What's that now?
Paddy's Day, flying out the day before, come back the day after.
Very
And
good.
day one might be the funniest day I'm ever going to have. People on the Staten Island ferry on their morning commute to work, and they're going to have to listen to this. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to New York. I'm not from here, but we're going to go drink some green pints.
That would be really
But
cool.
it's the ecosystem. Get involved in the ecosystem. It's that guiding. It's the like. I didn't like the amount of stuff I've learned. This is the ego talking. Like a year ago, I was working in marketing jobs. It was this that. You know, I thought I knew it.
Yeah.
Like I was going. I've gone. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say the day I started with the Enterprise Ireland New Frontiers and the paycheck cut off. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't
Yeah.
know where to go.
Yes.
And the infrastructures are there. The
Yes.
amount of like the speed that we've learned at,
Yes.
and I'd say you're probably the same.
Yeah.
That once you're
You
dropped in the pool,
it's like a crash course.
yeah,
You know, every day is a learning day for you,
yeah,
and then but I love it.
yeah,
Me myself as a person has changed a lot in last 3 years since I've started Cosmotech myself. The amount of learnings I've done, I had no clue about marketing myself.
yeah.
Like I hadn't a clue how
We'll
to
get
sell. Exactly, you're there. You have it covered. Like
we'll get there.
yeah, no, absolutely. But no, it's really good. Like I love it.
Yeah,
You're doing every day is a different day,
yeah,
and every day is a school day.
yeah.
So
No,
absolutely.
like I have a lot of mates who work in like manufacturing jobs and stuff like that. And every so often they'll pop up to the house like before a night shift or whatever. Because I've always said there's no money. There's no money that could get me to work through the night.
Yeah.
Says that, but then I do it now for no money. But they'll come up and they'll just look at the wall
Yeah.
of here's everything I need to do. Here's events. Here's plans. Here's this. Huh? It's like, do you sleep? It's like I do, but like this is the journey. This
Yeah.
is because everybody, and this goes back to the piece I was saying at the start. Everybody wants to see the view. Nobody wants to do all of the 10,
Climbing.
20, 30 steps of absolute
Yeah.
horseshit
No, it
that you need
is.
to get through to get there.
No, absolutely. It is
Like the first day
persistent.
you speak to an investor and they tell you you're wrong, if you don't take that to heart, you're cold.
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes.
And like you're going to get kicked. You're going to get kicked in the teeth. But using all the resources that are there, there's funds that are there, there's events that are there. And if it wasn't for the likes of the NDC events, I wouldn't have met you guys.
No,
And
exactly.
I'd probably still be trying to ring developers and find out why they weren't looking to charge me more than the cost of a fucking house.
Trying to figure out, should you pay 500 or should you pay 5,000 euros?
Honestly, if I had, as I said to one of them, I was like, if I had this money, I'd have bought a house.
Exactly. Why
Still
would you?
renting a house. What do you want me to do here? It's mad.
I know.
But like, I suppose, like, I don't really have a lot more questions, but I suppose the big question for you is, where are we going next? What's the roadmap for Cosmo? Where we're at now versus where do we want to be next year or in 2 or 3 years down the line?
I myself personally like to have short-term goals. Of course,
like
the
that.
long-term goal is I want to make sure that Cosmotech as a brand is recognized globally. So it should not be just in Ireland, or it's not a local brand.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate vision for it. But my short-term vision for the next 2 years is anyone who is in Ireland or UK at least, who are having technology problems, or who are having who want, doesn't matter, once they have a problem, they don't need to come up with a solution to us, because that's our job. We find the solutions for them. So any problems which you have when you're inefficient, when you are making a lot of errors, when you're not having enough time in the day, they should be thinking about Cosmotech.
Yes.
And then that's my, if I can achieve that in the next 2 years, yeah, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I think this is good. I think it's going to work
Yeah.
because, like, okay, so anybody who hasn't been listening, what I'd be saying is, so the amount of events that you're actually being attending this is, so for my Limerick friends, we have the NDRC actually hosting the startup sprint at the end of March. That's going to be in the WP Engine building, I believe, in the city centre. Uh, Mentoring and speaking at the event. There's a bunch of other events I know
Yes.
that you're going to be at. So
Yeah.
it's be at them,
Yeah.
come see the guys and talk to them about your idea. But like, how do I find you? Where do I find you? Hey, what's the contact? Give me the big sales pitch. I want big. I want hands everywhere.
No,
Come
no.
find me.
No, it's easy. I'm on LinkedIn, so people can reach out to me on LinkedIn. They can reach out to me on my email. It is cuty@cosmotec.ie. They can do the contact us form on website as well. So they can reach out. They can reach out to you, and you can always refer
Yeah,
them to us.
I'm always there too. And like, to be fair, like if anybody actually had questions and were afraid to talk to the guys
Yeah.
directly first, give me a shout. I'll happily talk through anybody with the process, how we're working. So if you are afraid of going directly to the source, talk to me. I have no problem explaining the journey that we've been on or even giving some guidance. But no, I would highly recommend talking to the guys. The site is Cozmotec. It's spelled Cozmotec. Hop onto the website, you'll see a few of the projects. There's a lot of blogs and stuff on the site now too, and there will be more coming. So have a read of them. I think it'll give you a good idea of kind of the flavor of what they do, how they work, and if you have an idea and don't know where to start, now you do.
That's it.
So
Exactly.
that's really for me. That's it. Like, you
That's
know yourself.
exactly. All you need to have is have a dream, have a product idea, validate your product idea
Yeah,
with who it is for, and the other things which you talk about. But then, yeah, if you're stuck with development, or if you're stuck with how to get started, just come to us.
yeah. Spend more time doing all the things with the business you really need to do, because you can get support to do the parts that you really don't know how to do.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's obvious. Oh my God. I think that, is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you think we need to
No,
mention?
I think it's we have gone through pretty much everything. So no, I think that's
Fantastic.
about it.
You
It
know,
feels like we're only chatting for seconds.
yeah, it's different from the usual. There's normally not a microphone in the
No.
middle, but this is generally how the conversations go. I suppose I have to give the big send off, sign off now, don't we?
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, you can find where you'll find us. We are on every social media platform, apart from the artist formerly known as Twitter. We are not there with that guy. Bad. But we're on every other social media platform. Goosed_ie. Have a look at the website. You should see the amount of work that Marty is putting up on the website over the last few weeks, and yeah, there'll be a bit more on a little product that Marty's building on the outside as well. A little piece on that, but I won't give that away right now. So yeah, go have a look at us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, over on the website, Spotify, and YouTube. We're everywhere. On that note, good luck, goodbye, good morning, good night, goodbye. I don't know, whenever the hell you're listening to this. Peace out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.